about time and where does it go? How can I stop my life from passing me by? I don't know. I've been thinking about family. Now it's going so fast. Will I wake up one morning just wishing that I could go back? I've been thinking about lately, maybe I can make a change and let it change me. So with all of my heart, this is my prayer. Singing, oh Lord, keep me in the moment. Help me live with my eyes wide open. 'Cause I don't wanna miss what you have for me. Hey guys, welcome into Faith in Football. My name is Neil and I will be your host. That song was Keep Me in the Moment by Jeremy Camp. If you haven't heard about him, learn about him. Trust me, awesome artist, awesome Christian artist, and you can find him on all your listening platforms. So welcome in, very special episode today. We are doing our very first mock draft of the season. And I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute. Whoa. Didn't you say last time we're going to run through some rookies, some running backs, rookie wide receivers? Well, I thought about it and I decided that there's no better way to run through and analyze rookie running backs and wide receivers and quarterbacks for that matter, like we did last episode, than to dive right in, see where they're going, and who is relevant. Because there's some guys that were drafted that are rookies that just aren't relevant. So when I was looking through it, of course, I picked the top five. I actually picked 6 and 7 on running backs. Kenneth Gainwell and Chuba Hubbard. Say that 5 times fast. From the Panthers, who's backing up Christian McCaffrey. Now, you might be thinking, well, why go 6 and 7? Well, Kenneth Gainwell with the Jets, he might be fantasy relevant if there is injury. Same thing with Hubbard. If, like last year, we find a Mike Davis who backing up Christian McCaffrey, CMC got hurt, in walks Mike Davis. And if you had Mike Davis last year, you were either trading with the CMC owner, or if you were the CMC owner and you were smart enough to go out and get Mike Davis as soon as CMC went down, you found yourself in a very good position. So some things we're going to look at. We're going to look at the ADP. We're going to look at where people are going and how to stay in the moment. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the moment. We're talking about what's going to happen when the storms of life come. Are you going to panic or are you going to pray? What are you going to do? So our verse for the day, everybody knows, hey, this is faith in football. So we do faith first, then we carry on into football, because faith is way more important than anything else that you have going on in your life. Trust me on this one, guys. So Luke chapter 8, verse 22. And this is a very interesting story on a couple of different levels. We're going to get into it in just a second. So let me read the verses of the day, and we're going to have multiples here. So one day Jesus said to his disciples, let's cross to the other side of the lake. So they got into a boat and started out. As they sailed across, Jesus settled down for a nap. Now imagine this. You're out on the boat. It's a nice, calm day. Jesus is going to take a nap. Disciples are up. Now, remember, a good bit of these guys are fishermen. They made their living on the water. They've been through some storms. They've been on the sea. Just as he settled down for a nap, a fierce storm came down on the lake, and the boat was filling with water, and they were in real danger. The disciples went and woke him up, shouting, Master, Master, we're going to drown. Now, these are professional fishermen, and they're freaking out about this storm. That's how bad it was, or at least how bad they perceived it to be. When Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind and the raging waves, Suddenly the storm stopped and all was calm. Then he asked them, "Where is your faith?" The disciples were terrified and amazed. "Who is this man?" they asked each other. "When he gives a command, even the wind and waves obey him." So these guys are out in the water and they're freaking out over this storm. And they wake Jesus up. He's like, "Hold on, I got this." Calms down the seas, calms down the storms, and goes, "Where was your faith?" Now, did you really think that Jesus was going to let that boat sink with him on it? Come on, guys. Y'all should have known better. Y'all should have had more faith. But that's what we do a lot of times. A lot of times we get in situations that we've put ourselves in. We do things that we know we're not supposed to do. And we get in too deep and we call out to Jesus and we're like, we're going to drown. We're going through a hard time. We're not going to be able to do this. We're not going to be able to do that. And Jesus looks down on us and he goes, "I got this." He calms everything down. And then he goes, "Where was your faith?" See, Jesus never tells us that there's not going to be storms in our life, that there's not going to be difficult times. What he tells us is that he's going to be there. He's going to be with us. Okay? So I want you to take that into today. No matter what you're going through right now, no matter how bad the situation is, how bad the situation has been, or how bad you think the situation is going to be, just remember that there is one person above that is looking down on you, that is covering you, that is loving you, that wants you to succeed in whatever you do. So reach out, have faith. Remember that the same God that brings the sunshine also lets it rain. And he's going to be there with you. He's going to watch you through the storm. He's going to walk with you. He's going to carry you through. He's going to be there. No matter if there's nobody else there for you, he will always be there. Okay? So I hope that that is a very uplifting story and verses for you. Please go read the rest of Luke. I love the book of Luke. I love this. I love the stories, and just Luke has a very in-depth look at his walk with Christ. So please go ahead and finish reading the book of Luke. I encourage you. And remember, down the bottom, subscribe, like, and share if you want some more uplifting fantasy advice and inspiration for the day. That's what we're here for. Remember, we are here for you guys. Okay, we're here to help you. We're here to encourage you, and we're here to walk you through what can be a very stormy season. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and we're going to pull up this week's, let's see, here we go, this week's mock draft. Now, for those of you who were with me last year, you guys remember that I used Draft Wizard. And Draft Wizard, I liked it. It was okay. They gave you a grade at the end, but the grade could be manipulated. And I showed you guys in one of my mock drafts last year how that could happen, where it would give you a suggestion, an expert suggestion, and what would happen is if you took that suggestion at every single pick, you could wind up with an A. But there were a lot of times when I really didn't like the team that I had. And remember, number one overall, as far as fantasy football is concerned, it should be fun. So if you're not having any fun, what's the point, right? Okay. So with that said, if you can see the screen here. Sorry guys. Sorry, I'm getting used to it, guys. So you're going to see that we have 12 teams. Down here, it shows the players who are available. You can choose between all QB, running back, wide receiver, tight end, your flex, which is, for those of you who don't know, a flex is an additional position spot. A lot of times it's just the wide receiver and the running back. There are some leagues that allow you to put in a tight end. Now, that's only beneficial if you have one of the big three, possibly the big four. And I'm speaking of Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, Mark Andrews, and a lot of people are putting George Kittle in there as well. If you want to go five, you could put TJ Hawkinson in. A lot of people are really high on him this year. But once you get past the big three of Waller, Kelce, and Kittle, it really drops off. I'm not sold on Mark Andrews, especially with Baltimore bringing in multiple wide receivers. They're looking like they want to throw the ball a little more. Yes, they don't have the right quarterback for that because Lamar Jackson is primarily a running quarterback, and they also are the most heavy run-based team in the league. So they're trying to change the leopard spots, and we'll see if that works this year. But I picked the 10 spot, and you can choose whatever spot you want. I could have picked the 1, I could have picked the 5, but I'm going to stay with the 10. And here's the thing is that if you're new to fantasy football, a lot of times people are going to go, oh, I want to be first in the draft. I want to get CMC. I want to get Dalvin Cook. I want to get Derrick Henry. I want to make sure I get those guys. Well, here's the thing. It doesn't always work out that way. And while the top 4 spots are really easy to pick as far as your running backs are concerned, you need to challenge yourself in mock drafts. You need to make sure that you're looking at that draft and going, what if? Play around with it. What happens if I draft a wide receiver first? What happens if I don't get Derrick Henry? What happens if I don't get Dalvin Cook? What happens if I miss out on my 3rd round option? So we're going to go through a bunch of mock drafts this year. We're going to go through a lot of guys who are a lot of mock drafts where I pick from different spots. And the thing I did last year, I'm going to do this year again. Down the bottom, when you subscribe, like, and share, and you can leave a comment on this video, please comment and let me know where you want to see me draft, and I can do a custom mock draft just for you. Tell me how you want it done. I'm going to have a couple of guests on. They're going to draft against me, and we're going to evaluate both teams. Now, before you get into a draft, here's what you have to ask yourself about the league. And I'm going back a couple of episodes. Some of you who are veterans already know this, but some of you who are rookies and newbies, you might not think about the nuances of a league before you join. There are 17 weeks in this season. There are 17 games in this season. For the first time in NFL history, we have a 17-game season, which means that there are 18 weeks in the NFL fantasy football season. So last year, we preached about making sure that you were not in a week 17 championship league. Why? Because the guys who got you there, your star players, a lot of times they're good enough to make the real playoffs. So the last week of the season, they're not in action. So that doesn't do your fantasy team any good when it really, really counts, which is your championship game. So you want your championship game to be the next to last week of the season. So in this case, you want a week 17 championship, not a Week 18 championship. That's something to think about. Also, you need to think about your scoring. For this league, we are doing a PPR scoring, which is a points per reception, which is what a lot of platforms are going to. We also have, in my league of record, we have a 6-point touchdown, passing touchdown for the quarterback, where in some leagues, not all, but some leagues, there's only a 4-point touchdown for passing quarterbacks, which makes rushing quarterbacks like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, that much more valuable. We remember last year, Cam Newton ran in for double-digit touchdowns. He ran in for 12. That's a lot of value right there for a quarterback that wasn't even being drafted in some cases. So, with that said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start this draft. And we're going to see what falls to us. Now, I've got a plan in my head, but here's the thing. Is that, let's see. And we're letting the CPU auto pick for all these guys. Sorry, guys, I did not, I didn't take care of this earlier. But like I said, I have a plan in my head for this draft, and it looks like I'm going to be able to do my first one. Now, you see right down here, this shows who they're suggesting go at this point. This is your ADP, your average draft position. Okay. We see CMC went first, then Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Saquon, then Nick Chubb at 6. First wide receiver off the board was at 7 with Tyreek Hill, followed by Jonathan Taylor, and then Davante Adams. Now, this is all normal, okay? Davante Adams, I have seen fall a little farther, and I've seen Jonathan Taylor taken a little higher in other mock drafts. Primarily, Adams primarily because of the question of Aaron Rodgers. But here's the thing, is that the closer to the season you do your draft, the more questions are answered and the clearer your picture will be, okay? Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Travis Kelce in the first round. And let me tell you be sure when I say this, is that if you do this, everyone in your draft will be going, what in the world are you doing? No, not that. Sorry, guys. Whoa. Sorry, guys, we're having a little technical difficulty here. There we go. Okay, so I tell you what, guys, let's delete this draft real quick.
And we're going to start over. Let me show you guys from scratch real quick. Go up here. I was trying to do where we have, let's see, begin draft. Oh, wait a minute. I do have to do draft settings. Sorry, guys. But you do draft settings when you come. This is on Sleeper. You go, we went PPR and we went 12 teams. And I was trying to do a no time limit so we could do analysis, but we'll set it at 3 minutes and we'll make sure that we do a quick analysis here. So that being said, and your roster settings, we're going to look at, we do not put a kicker in because a lot of times your kicker, they're really too volatile to do. I don't like having a kicker. Matter of fact, this is the first year that we're doing a no kicker draft or no kicker league. Now we see, you know, this one worked out a little differently. Kelsey was taken in the 7th, so my true, and I also picked the 11th. So these are some of the things that I was talking about when your plans don't work out, what are you going to do? Okay, so at the 11th spot, we see Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams gone. Normally, I would say that Ezekiel Elliott would be the player that goes here. However, you see this jersey behind me. I have never in the history of, or in the length of my career playing fantasy ball, have ever had a Cowboy on my team, and I don't want to start now. So with that said, I will take, and this is one of the things about having a plan and having to adjust on the fly. When you look at it, and I want to go running back, I like Austin Eckler, and it's a lot more fun when you can draft guys who are capable of pulling this off. There we go. You see Metcalf went, then Zeke, and that leaves me with the next pick. And this is what we call a short turn, and then we have a long turn. So you see that in the snake formation, I'm going to go for a very long time before anyone is picked. So what does that mean? That means that I have a real choice to make here. Do I go ahead and take another top flight receiver like Stephon Diggs or D-Hop, or A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, because I know for a fact that those guys are not going to be there when I get back? Or do I go ahead and take one of my other favorites, Cam Akers, Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, Najee Harris? Those guys might not fall to me either. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go a little even here. I like Stephon Diggs at this spot. Now, Pat Mahomes going in the 2nd. That's a little bit early for my taste. I would normally put him at the back end. And we see Najee went to team 2. That's J.K. Dobbins at the turn. David Montgomery taking just one pick before me. I really don't like that. I'm sorry, J.K. Dobbins went to team 4. Let's see. Yeah, Michael Thomas at the turn. Whoa. Sorry, guys. There we go. A.J. Brown at the turn. So they have McCaffrey, Thomas, and Brown. I don't know about Mike Thomas in the second. His value is in the third, so they're reaching up to grab him there because they're at the turn. And this is the thing that you do when you're early in the draft, is that if you're in the first, second, or third position, you got to think a couple of picks ahead. Whereas if you're in the middle of the draft, you can kind of let things fall to you. Okay. Now let's pull this up. Now we've got wide receiver, running backs. We see, let's see who our running backs available are. We see Chris Carson, ATN, Hunt, James Robinson. Chris Carson is probably the last of the top flight running backs here. So let's go ahead. We'll take him. We're on a short term. We're only going to lose 2 guys. And we see Josh Allen and Keenan Allen go off the board. Josh Allen typically this year is going to be your second quarterback off the board because of the upside. I would have loved to have gotten that double up, but I've got another double up coming, possibly. But we'll wait and see if that actually comes to fruition. Let's look at this. Now, like I said, all these other guys, Travis Etienne, that's our second rookie running back off the board. Najee Harris is the first one, and Najee is a workhorse running back, pardon me. With him falling to Pittsburgh in the draft, with him going there, he's got an aging Ben Roethlisberger who has become a check down machine. If the receivers downfield are not open, he's going to check it down. Okay. He's kind of gotten a little gun shy. We're going to see a little bit in the first week what his mentality is and how Najee Harris is used. Okay. So you're going to see real quick what his role is going to be in this offense. So if you're picking him real early, expecting big things out of him, you are going to be shown very soon if it pays off for you. Okay. Travis Etienne, look, he's fighting James Robinson for carries. This is a new regime. They did not intend to pick Travis Etienne. Okay. They wanted another guy. His name escapes me right now. But he actually, if I'm not mistaken, went to the Jets. They did not expect Travis Etienne to be their pick that high. Okay. They could have taken him a lot later because they had James Robinson. But they took him. I think Trevor Lawrence had a lot to do with that. They wanted some familiarity behind him. And with that connection, how soon is Etienne going to just supplant James Robinson? Is James Robinson going to be there the whole year? Is he trade bait? We don't know. So before my time runs out, I'm going to go ahead and take my boy, Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry. And I know some of you are out there thinking, going, wait a minute, you didn't take Julio? Look, how the mighty have fallen. Julio Jones going in the 4th round. I know it's crazy. And we see a few quarterbacks going off the board early here, and we see a ton of wide receivers gone. You see Amari Cooper, Mike Evans, DJ, CeeDee Lamb went off the board. Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Adam Thielen, Jamar Chase. And here's a rookie wide receiver that I wanted to talk about. Jamar Chase has that instant chemistry with Joe Burrow, and he doesn't have to be the guy. Okay. He might very well end up being the #1 wide receiver for the Bengals, but he doesn't have to be. You've got Tyler Boyd, you got T. Higgins. These guys have already been in the NFL and they have performed on the NFL level. Jamar Chase has yet to do that. However, he is probably the most pro-ready wide receiver that they have in coming out in this class. Devontae Smith here for Philly, another rookie wide receiver, Heisman Trophy winner. However, he has a very mobile quarterback who is also just coming. He's coming into his sophomore year, his year 2, but this might as well be his rookie year because we only saw a couple of games with him as a starter, and we saw him taking off every single time. Okay, he did not go through progressions. He went through them, or if he did, he went through them very quickly, and he took off running. His mobility is what makes him, but his mobility is what breaks that wide receiver value for Philly. Jalen Hurts, if you want to take a late flyer on him, go for it. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you about it. However, there are other options that you can have out there. Okay, guys. Now we see we're pretty much even right now. We've got 2 wide receivers. We got 2 running backs. Now, Melvin Gordon is an interesting pick here, but Javonte Williams is just a couple of spots below him. And that could be the better pick. Okay. Now we see Mark Andrews gone. We see a few quarterbacks. I want to take a look. Let's see. Running back. I'm going to go ahead and I'll take Myles Gaskin. I don't have a lot of faith in that pick. And we see James Robinson gone and TJ Hawkinson. That was the pick that I really, really wanted. I like that. I like TJ this year. I think he's going to be a little something because there are basically no other options there. And we look at what is left for the tight end position. And this is why you take one of the big guys early. Okay. We see Kelsey taken in the first, Kittle taken in the second. Let me see here. Had Pitts, Andrews, and Waller all taken in the third, taken in the fourth. A lot of people are high on Pitts this year. And I want you guys to look at your draft board. You need to read your board, okay? Team 4, very heavy on running backs. However, Nick Chubb comes with a Kareem Hunt problem. J.K. Dobbins comes with a Lamar Jackson problem. Antonio Gibson, I like it. And then the third is basically where he's going. So this is probably, and no, I'm not being biased. Well, maybe a little bit, but can't blame me. Gibson, very good. Etienne, way too many questions to be number 4. And then Cooper Kupp is his first wide receiving pick. I'm not too happy with that team. And then this one right here, very heavy on wide receiver, very bare on running back. Now, let's see who we have left. No one really of consequence. I can wait on wide receiver. I don't want to miss out on my quarterback here. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Justin Herbert with this pick. And let's see who else goes off. Prescott went. And here's the thing is that there were a few other teams that needed quarterback help. And in the 6th round is really when you go for your quarterback, okay? So you go for your quarterback in the 6th, unless it's going to be one of these guys. Lamar Jackson, me personally, I think he's going to have a bounce back year. It was very up and down. He was very, very high in the last part of the season. And if you were able to either hold on to him or trade for him while he was having his slump, you were very happy. I myself traded him to a team that did not make the playoffs. Thank God. I appreciate that one. So we've got Rodgers went, Lawrence went, Wilson went, Kyler Murray went to team number 1. Ooh, pardon me. Let's see here. There we go. Javonte Williams and Raheem Mostert. Look, any San Fran running back, I'm a little leery of, especially Raheem Mostert. I had Raheem Mostert last year, and I wound up trading him in that Lamar Jackson trade, okay? Now, if we look at our team, like I said, we're pretty much balanced. We've got 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. We've got, I've got 3 running backs, 2 wide receivers. So I'm looking for a little balance here. I like to try to stay balanced as much as I can. And last year, I preached a lot about not taking Brandon Cooks because of the concussion problem. I was proven wrong. He was fine. Okay. Here's the thing. They've got Tyrod Taylor in at quarterback, and Brandon Cooks is pretty much the only guy there. Getting him this late, I like it. I'll take it. And we see James Conner going off the board. I'm staying away from Conner. I'm staying away from Chase Edmonds. We see Edmonds went here in the 7th. This team right here, I really don't like. CEH, you can probably get him maybe a little later than the 3rd. The 3rd, if you want to guarantee him, I think he's going to do good this year. Last year, everyone was taking him in the 1st, and I told everyone, if you want him, you're going to have to pay up, and you're probably not going to be happy. So now we see Trevor Lawrence here is team number 3's first quarterback choice. Look, there's no way I'm picking a rookie quarterback. I don't care how good he is. I'm not picking a rookie quarterback as my first quarterback, okay? I'm going to take a veteran at this spot right here in the number 3 spot. He could have jumped up and taken Kyler Murray here. He didn't need Mark Andrews. TJ Hawkinson was still on the board. If he wanted to take a tight end, he could have taken a tight end in the 5th. I could have passed on Woods. If he's going to take Woods there, my pick down here would have been Matt Stafford. I'm loving Matt Stafford this year. He's probably going to, I'm hoping to catch him as my backup to Justin Herbert. But I digress. Let's see what we can do for running backs. Now, I see David Johnson sitting there, but I'm going to pass on him this round. Okay. And here's the thing. I've always been big on Jarvis Landry. I'm loving Jarvis. Let's see. Oh, David Johnson fell. Mike Davis too. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Can you be calm and collected when your plans don't go as you wanted? We see a lot of quarterbacks going off the board right now. Joe Burrow, Brady, Stafford. Watson, why anyone would pick Watson, I don't know. He is a backup in that case. Jalen Hurts is another backup. I like the Matt Stafford pick. I don't like the Mike Gesicki pick because I don't have that much confidence in Tua. Debo, as long as he stays healthy, I can see it. Laviska Shenault, I don't like pick just because rookie quarterbacks just worry me too much. You got Marquise Brown and Gronkowski. Look, Gronk, and this is the thing that you need to stay cognizant of when you're doing your draft, is recency bias is what they call it. And it's basically the what have you done for me now thing that I went over in my mistakes that newbies make. When you draft and you have it in your head that this player is good, that player sucks, this player is good, that player sucks, a lot of it has to do with their end of season performance. David Montgomery had an absolutely killer end of season, but it was against cupcake defenses. Now, that's what good players do. Good players are supposed to have really good games against really bad defenses. And he did. Now, I like David Montgomery this year. If you have an opportunity to draft him, please do so. I love having David Montgomery on my team. Love having David Johnson on my team. DJ was awesome. Now, I talked a little earlier about the Raheem Mostert pick, okay? Here's my thing. I'm going to go and I'm going to take Trey Sermon because I look at what the team spent on this guy. They really paid up, and I want to interrupt myself for just a minute because the Ryan Tannehill pick in the 10th is phenomenal. This guy has locked up at the 12th spot. He has locked up 2 quarterbacks that are absolute fantasy studs. Okay. Tannehill just got a new weapon in Julio. He's got A.J. Brown. He's got Derrick Henry. Now, yes, Derrick Henry is not involved heavily in the passing game. However, that play action, off the chain. Okay. So, let me minimize this for just a second. Let's take a look at our roster. And here we go. So, Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, Chris Carson, Stephon Diggs, and Terry McLaurin. Pretty solid start right there. Okay. Myles Gaskin and Brandon Cooks, Jarvis Landry, and Trey Sermon. Quarterback, Justin Herbert. I like it. Okay. Now, you notice I'm not putting anybody in my queue. That's basically for time restraints. So, now, this is the part of the draft where you can start going after your flyers. You can start filling in your bench spots. You've got your starting lineup pretty much set. If you want to take a flyer on a guy, take a flyer on a guy. Now, here's my thing is that there's things that we call handcuffs. Okay, and a lot of it has to do with running backs. You have a running back handcuff. So who am I handcuffing if there's injury? Okay. Your handcuffs, you have Nyheim Hines, highly involved in the passing game. I like the usage that he brings. Okay. But here's the thing is that I don't want to miss out on Damian Harris. Okay. I'm going to have to go a little earlier than I like on Harris. And normally I stay away from the Patriots running backs because these guys are just so unpredictable. I don't like it. There goes Nyheim Hines to team 2. And we see Mayfield as a backup to Stafford. And there's Kenneth Gainwell. Now, Gainwell in Philly, look, they've got Miles Sanders. How they're going to use Gainwell, I don't know. I'd rather just stay away from the pick entirely. Elijah Moore is a very interesting pick to me. However, this team, I don't like Team 7 taking that many rookie wide receivers. They've got Jamar Chase. They've got Jalen Waddle. And Waddle, if there's going to be one guy on Miami who actually does something, Waddle probably will be that guy. So, I see the chemistry that he had with Tua in college, but it was very short. It was a very small sample size. I think it was only one season, if I'm not mistaken. But Waddle is a very good receiver, speed demon, good size, good hands. I like him a lot, but having him with two other rookie wide receivers, I don't care. That doesn't make me comfortable. I want something to make me comfortable. You know what I mean? I want to walk out of the draft going, I'm cool with this. I don't want to walk out of the draft going, what did I do? I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I let this guy slip. This, that, the other. So let's see. Let's go ahead and we'll scroll down here. Now we've got 5 picks left. So let's see who we can take flyers on here, guys. We still need a tight end. Let's see who's left. Now, this is a make or break year for Daniel Jones in New York. I don't like the tight end position really after the big 3, to be honest with you. I will take Jonnu Smith here just for the simple reason that I like Jonnu in Tennessee. I think that with as hard as New England went after him, that they really have a place for him. They really want to get back to that Gronkowski, Hernandez style. That's why they got him and Higbee, or not. I'm sorry, not Higbee. Who's the other? Hunter Henry. I knew it was with an H. Hunter Henry. Now Hunter Henry, they took earlier. I'm taking Jonnu Smith. I think Jonnu Smith in the red zone. I think Hunter Henry is going to be your blocking tight end. Jonnu Smith is going to be the guy in the red zone. Now, here we see Tony Pollard going off. That is a handcuff for the Ezekiel Elliott. Okay. And that's what you do if you have a guy like Zeke, if you have a guy like Aaron Jones. If you had Aaron Jones, you would take A.J. Dillon. Those are the backups who have a very high probability of giving you a lot of production if the starting running back goes down. Okay. Plus the fact that he actually has legit in-season, non-injury related production. There were a couple of times last year where Zeke was healthy. He just wasn't performing, and they put in Tony Pollard as a change of pace, and Pollard actually performed. The only problem is you don't know when that game is. So let's go ahead and pull this up, and let's see who we have. Let's look at wide receiver. Now, I'm not really big on this guy. I'll put that out there. I don't like the volatility, but there's a lot of good talk coming out about him. Mecole Hardman, any part of a high-powered offense that you can get, cool. Now, we see Trey Lance going off the board here. That's a backup right here to Tom Brady, okay? We also see a few defenses going off the board right now. It's a little early for defense, in my opinion. I usually try to save my defense until the end. And if it's going to be anybody, I want it to be someone high. So the Rams or the Washington football team would be one. Trust me, they will always be the Redskins to me. Sorry. That's just me. Tampa Bay is off the board. We see Evan Ingram to team 1 at tight end. St. Brown. Look, I don't like Jared Goff. I think that Matt Stafford's a better quarterback than Goff. And if Stafford didn't succeed in Detroit, are you really going to bring in an inferior quarterback and have them succeed somewhere where a superior quarterback failed? Don't think so. Just my opinion. Okay, so looking here. See what we have left over at running back. Now, here's a very interesting pick. It's Chuba Hubbard, and I spoke about this at the beginning of the show. It's later in the draft. The price is right. Let me see. And I see my backup. So I'm going to go ahead and take Hubbard, because if CMC goes down again, there's a lot of value in Hubbard. Okay, he shoots up the board, and getting him in the 13th round, steal. You might be thinking, okay, well, so who's your backup? Neil, who are you going to get as a backup to Justin Herbert? Well, I'm going to take a rookie quarterback who I'm very high on, and that is Zach Wilson. There's just something about this kid I really, really like. And we see, Derek Carr is there, Big Ben is there. I could have taken those guys, but I want to see what's going to happen. Look, there's only a few, and it's time for my defense because I have the next to last pick. Let's see who we got left on defense. And I'll go ahead with Bills. I'll take the Bills. And here's why I'm taking the Bills, okay? I want to look at that division, and I want to look at who they're going against. They're going against Miami. If I took Miami's defense here, I'm going against maybe Cam or Mac Jones. I'm going against Josh Allen. Okay, going against Zach Wilson. So possibly 2 rookie quarterbacks and a sophomore running back. Or I'm sorry, a sophomore quarterback. Taking the Bills, I'm going against the same guys, except that I don't have to go against that offense, that high-powered offense. I don't have to go against them. So I'll go ahead and take the Bills to round out. Let's see. And the Dolphins went last. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and scroll up here. And this is the cool thing I like about Sleeper is I copied this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share it later with the league. Then I'm in and see how the guys, what the guys think. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know how I did. Let me know what team you see on here that you think did better or is more in line with your your way of drafting. Okay. So, guys, I want you to remember, have fun most of all. Try different positions and different strategies. Okay. Kelsey going at 7 is probably not going to happen in your home league. Okay. Remember, the guys that you watch, the professional fantasy football guys, the analysts that you watch on ESPN, NFL Network, whatever, these are pros. They are going from a very analytical standpoint. They're not going to make the heartfelt draft picks that your league mates will. I want you to remember this. You remember the story in the beginning? We talked about Jesus and his disciples. Jesus knew. He knew his disciples. He was testing them. He pretty much he already knew what they were going to say, what they were going to do. He was testing their faith. So here's the thing. He knew his disciples. Do you know your league mates? Probably do. You probably know their tendencies. You know who they like, who they don't like, who they're willing to draft, and who they're not. So when you go into the draft, keep that in mind. Keep a level head, and you can come out with a much better team than anyone else. Remember, you want some more tips and tricks on fantasy? Stay tuned. Remember to broaden your spectrum, and please go watch some other professional podcasts. But I want you to stay tuned for this, because remember, at Faith in Football, we are the football show with a higher calling. So, guys, till next time, have a good one. God bless. Love you guys. Appreciate your time. Down at the bottom, subscribe, like, and share. Oh, and I do want you to remember that my sponsor for this show is Keller's Bakery at 627 Lafayette Street, located on the Youngsville Highway. Their number is 337-856-4449. Also find them on Facebook, where they do take orders. That's right. You can order through Facebook for Keller's Bakery in Youngsville. Guys, talk about heavenly. Look, we had some of their stuff last year at the draft. We're going to have some more of their stuff this year at the draft. My boy Dusty, shout out to Dusty. His family owns Keller's Bakery. Love their stuff. Love you guys for sponsoring. I appreciate it. And remember, when you go in and you tell them Faith in Football sent you, you get you 2 free mini cupcakes. Mini cupcakes. They're awesome. You don't want the big cupcake, because they have big ones too if you want some. But you want to try some out. You want to try different flavors. You don't want to commit all the way to one. You need a little bitty sample. That's what you can get, and I'm providing it for you guys. So go down there. Please get yourself a dozen donuts while you're down there. Maybe even a king cake. You never know. The meringue pie, they're awesome. Check out and see what they have. And I'm sending you guys down there. Remember, Faith in Football sent you 2 free mini cupcakes. Till next time, guys. We'll see y'all later. God bless. Love you guys. Down the bottom, subscribe, like, and share for me. Till next time, I'm Neil. This is Faith in Football. You guys have been great. We'll see you next time.